Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami
Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami
Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Devasesha Sunyavadi Pachyatya Deshatharine Namaste
Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachyatya Deshatharine
Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Krishna
Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare
You were playing it when we came. Lasika's good on Radanga. Give him Radanga. Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Rama Rama
very small one I've given away.
Hare Krishna,
I think it's okay.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare,
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Gopal ki
Jai.
Shri Rama Sankirtanam ki
Jai.
Shri Satmadanga ki
Jai.
Shri Gauri Kai ki Jai
Jai.
Krishna Baladev Sabhadu ki Shri Sri Radha Vishwar ki Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ki Shri
Jai.
Radha Gokulananda ki
Jai.
Go Premanand
Hari Bol.
Some of the voices of Lord Shri Sri Ramanda Lord Shri Sri Hare Krishna Jai Mahavishnu Hare Krishna Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Kumara Namaste Saraswati Devi Jayarani Goswami Meditation Bhakti Prabhu. You may be wondering, this piece of rope is around my neck. I've been caught, captured like an animal. The Yamadutas have got me. What do they have? Some of you know what it is. You don't know?
Yeah. From Lord Jagannath cart,
You heard
which
it
was
already.
pulled.
Huh?
Which was pulled. Lord
No.
Jagannath. No?
Maybe you didn't hear or you didn't hear it fully. See this rope?
Sorry.
Do you see this rope?
Yes.
What do you see?
You will hang me.
You will be lucky.
Yes, I'll be lucky.
You know what it is, don't you? It's not ordinary rope, it's made from some kind of silk.
Oh.
So they say. Very silk. And you may know the pastime, which is we're already now May or a little bit time yet, another month or two, huh? Rath Yatra from Jagannath Puri. Real. When they have the Rath Yatra, you're in the right place, the right event, but not quite the right incident. When the Lord, before the Rath Yatra, actually they started just a few weeks ago building Akshaya Tritiya, that's when they start building the Rath car. But before the Rath Yatra festival, there's the Anavasara period, which is a period when Lord Jagannath unmanifests himself from the altar, so to speak, and he's taken off the altar and he's kept in privacy, so to speak, and then he's usually they repaint, renovate, whatever. And the story usually goes at that time, there are different stories, but after the Snana Yatra ceremony, Snana Yatra, they bathe Lord Jagannath once a year, they bathe with various liquids, that he then becomes a little sick, he gets a cold, I don't know, not maybe COVID, I'm not sure.
Different variant.
Different variant of COVID, I'm not sure. Maybe it all came from him, maybe that's what happened.
Maybe.
Yeah. So actually everything does come from Krishna. So and they don't just pick them up, they have these ropes, silken ropes. Silken ropes. You look up on my computer. Silken ropes. So, you know how to use Database?
Not very well.
You know how to use it well enough. You have to know how to capture those two words as one word, so immediately it comes. Silken ropes. They tie the Lord silken ropes around his torso, and then they carry the Lord like that, and these ropes bouncing him towards the chariot. They have these pillows called tules, they're made of cotton, like fibre, not just cotton, but it's like puffed up cotton balls, and they take him boom, boom, all the way to the chariot. So those ropes, this is from those ropes. Of course, every year they have different ropes. So anyway, this is so I was told. These from those ropes. So they're silken ropes.
You check it.
That won't work.
Okay.
Yeah, database, you have to know how to use it. Silken ropes. read it to you. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda,
Jaya Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda,
Jaya Rita Chandra, Jaya Gaura.
Jaya Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Is a festival when Lord Jagannath comes out of seclusion, and they make a special festival offering called Pandu Vijaya. So the king of Orissa at that time was known as King Prataparudra. King Prataparudra. And he ordered his, those in charge, he ordered them to make sure that Lord Chaitanya and all his followers can enter into that confidential, in fact secluded place to witness this Pandavijaya festival. So they did. During the Pandavijaya, Lord Jagannath was carried. While he was being carried, a bunch of silken rope broke. I don't know if this is the right chapter, but never mind. It's about same area. It may not be that what but it's something. When the Jagannath deity is carried, at intervals he is placed on cotton pads. When the ropes broke, the cotton pads also broke due to the weight of Lord Jagannath, and the cotton floated into the air. A snake form. Let's see what it says. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. He serves Krishna, assuming all the following forms. This is Nantashesh. Umbrella. You have an umbrella? Whenever you have an umbrella, you can remember Lord Balaram. Okay? This is one of the forms he serves the Lord. Slippers, if you have slippers. Bedding, pillow, garments, resting chair, residence, sacred thread and throne. That's another form. This is particularly in this particular situation. He expands in so many ways. These are the different ways he supports or provides for the Lord. Umbrella, when you see umbrella, slippers, bedding, pillow, all these various things for the Lord's comfort, you can say. Garments, resting chair, residence, sacred thread, and throne. Nicely. He is thus called Lord Shesha, for he has attained the ultimate end of servitude to Krishna. It's amazing how, you have Giriraj on the altar in Soho, Giriraj Govardhan Shila, and there's the ongoing transcendental sort of, what we say, it's not a debate, it's not a competition, it's not a rivalry, differences. Do we worship Govardhan as Haridas Varya, which means the greatest of all the servants, or do we worship him as Hari himself? How do we worship him? They worship him as Hari in the temple, isn't it? Peacock feather and so on. Which is the general standard in the Gaudiya, present Gaudiya. Although he's also worshipped Haridas Varya, he's also worshipped as the greatest devotee. How do we reconcile this apparent duplicity? Is he God, or is he the greatest servant of God, or is he both? I'd say both. Yeah. What is the greatest service of all? What does Lord Shiva say to Parvati? The greatest service is? Service to who? To Lord Vishnu. But even greater is? Serving his devotees. So in one sense, it's amazing how, you can see from different angles, and every angle is correct in one sense. But the Lord himself, in the form of Govardhan, is getting the greatest, this is the epitome of his own personal, you could say, love, that he's serving his devotees as Govardhan, providing everything for their pleasure, as well as himself. His devotees are never without the Lord. So. But in one sense, it's really Govardhan providing all the pleasure places for his devotees, for their pleasure. So he's both. But you can also worship him as one, or one, simultaneously one and different, whatever. And Govardhan, Giriraj. So here also, Ananta Shesh is actually Lord Balaram. And of course, Lord Balaram is in the mood, basically speaking, of friendship, but that friendship is in the mood of servitude. Always, every rasa, every relationship, you could say the foundation of that relationship is in the mood of service. But you may not be consciously aware of that, but the whole point is to serve Krishna. The whole purpose is to bring pleasure to Krishna. Service means to give pleasure. To give pleasure. It's not just something we want to do. You know, when you want to serve somebody, you don't just do what you want and think that's what it means to serve them. It's not the case at all. You have to find out what they want. So there are different levels there in relationship with Krishna. Most of them are very simple master-servant relationship, but the relationship on a higher level of friend, it doesn't seem like you're serving the other person. It seems like you're equal, even Stephen, as they say, equal. But that is actually a much more satisfying and deeper and fulfilling form of service to the Lord. We can't imitate that. But Lord Balaram is, you could say, the personification of that particular rasa, but it's also imbued with service. Every rasa has service as the foundation, serving the Lord in that way. But in this case, he's serving the Lord more in the case of, nothing's really neutral in one sense. It's all fully conscious of Krishna, but in one sense in a neutral way, being the umbrella, being the slippers, the bed, the pillow, and so on and so forth. In other cases, he may be serving as master and servant, massaging the Lord Krishna's master. He may be serving, massaging him, or whatever it may be. In other cases, he may be in the Vatsalya mood, is there, isn't it? Where he's like an elder brother, protecting his younger brother. He's also there. And there's another level too, where he's in Madhurya Rasas, form of Lord Balaram as a Nanga Manjari. There's also that on another level. So he's in all the rasas. In this case, we're talking about his expansion of Shesha. The person of whom Lord Ananta is a kala, means a part of a plenary part, is Lord Nityananda Prabhu, or Lord Balaram. So he's a kala, he's a part of that form of the Lord. Who therefore can know the pastimes of Lord Nityananda? From these conclusions we can know the limit of the truth of Lord Nityananda. But what glory is there in calling him Ananta? It's like, say for instance you're a part of the whole of your body. Say you've got a hand. I guess you've all got a hand. Or two. You don't glorify Sam and say, you are a beautiful hand. You are very handy. You could say that, I suppose. Hand is very useful. It's not a very, if you say, oh, you're amazing. You're a hand. You're a hand. You're a great hand. You could sort of say that, in kind of a mean, purposeful way in one sense, but it's nothing compared to the whole. So, although non-different, Ananta is no doubt Lord Nityananda or Lord Balaram, but his glories are unlimited. We're going to return now to where we were. And this is, after receiving orders from the Lord for the rendering of service, the fortunate Satyaraj and Ramananda Vasu were highly pleased. Every year thereafter, when the Gundicha temple was being cleansed, Satyaraj and Ramananda Vasu would come with the other devotees and with great pleasure bring silken rope. You know this pastime of the cleansing of the Gundicha temple? Do you do this at Soho?
Yes.
You have a Maha cleanup on that day, do you? Nice. It's an amazing pastime, isn't it? I don't think it's in this particular section, but it's amazing. So that takes place the day before Rath Yatra, because Lord Jagannath is going to go from his temple. We used to say the Jagannath temple, Sri Kshetra temple, and Purushottam. He's going to go from there to the Gundicha temple. Why? Why is he going? Why is he going? This is important to remember, and sometime you can meditate on this, but it's important to remember the significance of Rath Yatra festival. There are many significances, but what is significant about Rath Yatra festival? Coming up. Oh, there are 3 or 4 talking at once. I couldn't hear a thing. Well, put your hand up if you like to suggest what is significant about Rath Yatra. Okay, Vayu.
Okay, significance like okay, last time in Kurukshetra when gopis are dragging Krishna back to Vrindavan, so in a sense like we want to get Krishna into our heart, or to say.
They wanted to bring Krishna back to Vrindavan in the middle of the battlefield?
Yeah,
We got some kid for you, come back.
so that's they cannot, in that setting, they cannot like have exchange with Krishna, that spontaneous loving exchange, so they drag him into his abode Vrindavan.
A big solar eclipse, wasn't it? They all went to, people on eclipse days, they usually, at least in India, used to go to the holy river or holy place and, chant. Anyway, at that particular time, devotees and all kinds of persons all went to Kurukshetra that year. And the residents of Dwarka, at that time, Krishna was residing in Dwarka. So he went there with his, associates, many of them the queens, so many of them went there to Dwarka, and they were, of course, they were living in great opulence in Dwarka. The residents of Vrindavan also came, and they lived very simply. So they saw Krishna there. Of course, he was with his elephants and chariots and dressed as royal king and everything, In one sense, that's not, it's Krishna, it's our Krishna. We want him to come back. That's not the Krishna, it's like, it's the same person. It's like, just different mood. Some say, of course, it's a kind of a different form of Krishna, which is true. But the same Krishna, but in a totally different mood and looks different, more or less. So they're pining to bring him back to Vrindavan, begging him to come back to Vrindavan so they could again be together there in Vrindavan, together, enjoying on the banks of the Jamuna and so on and so forth on those moonlit nights. They were just lamenting like this. And this is Radharani's, you could say. We were interested the other day. We were reading, not the other day, the other month, we were reading from a book called Bhaktisiddhanta Vaibhav. Perhaps you've seen or heard of this book. It's an amazing book by Bhakti-Vikas Swami. Incredible book. And Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj said, actually, the highest form of devotion is to be experienced in Kurukshetra, not in Vrindavan. Those who think that Vrindavan is the epitome are wrong. It's Kurukshetra. So that's where we should go. Because it's there that the mood, the intensive mood of separation of Radharani and the gopis is panultimate, pinnacle. This pinnacle. And this Rath Yatra festival, you could say, is how would you say it? Krishna's reciprocation. Krishna's reciprocation with Srimati Radharani to return back to Vrindavan. So Rath Yatra festival is from so many angles, is the most significant festival of all festivals. Krishna is always in Vrindavan, but it's the mood of the devotees. He is not. He left us, and they're trying to bring him back. So this Rath Yatra festival is bringing him back to Vrindavan. So important. And every devotee who takes part in this is assisting Radharani in fulfilling her desires, or assisting Krishna in fulfilling Radharani's desires, whichever way you look at it. Because this is the greatest service. Krishna wants to fulfill Radharani's desires, so this Rath Yatra festival is exactly that. And the Gundicha temple is considered to be the Vrindavan. Gundicha Mandir is Vrindavan, and Shri Kshetra is Kurukshetra, or Dwarka. So they brought these silken ropes, and with these silken ropes they'll be bringing Lord Jagannath from the temple onto the cart to take him back to Vrindavan. Very important. It's not just have a good bit of fun, is it? It's not just a preaching, it's a great preaching field too, preaching outlet. But you can distribute so many books, for instance, on Rath Yatra. I'm sure you do. And so many millions of people, maybe millions if it's filmed, will see the Rath Yatra festival. Incredible festival. And it's a festival which isn't just that. This is a festival of unlimited mercy. Probably more than any other pastime or any other event in the Vaishnav calendar, Rath Yatra. As just by seeing Lord Jagannath, Prabhupada said several times on the Rath car, just by seeing him, you're guaranteed to go back to Godhead. In some cases he said, in your next life you're going back. Even if you were not a devotee, but if you a practicing devotee, so to speak, but if you see Lord Jagannath on the Rath car, you're going back to Godhead in your next lifetime. A very special mercy, like the king sometimes, gets what they call it when he releases all the prisoners. What's the English word for that?
Bail.
No, not bail.
Bail?
Not bail, no. The king comes into the prison and says, okay, now I'm here. Release all the prisoners.
Amnesty?
Amnesty, maybe. Amnesty. Yeah, I think it's amnesty. He just releases them all of their, 50 years, 10 years, whatever. Yeah, no, it doesn't happen now. It used to. So, like that, all released. Special mercy of Lord Jagannath. So happily they brought the silken ropes. Simple service. Thus Lord Jagannath returned to his temple and sat on his throne while Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu returned to his, not quite sure where we're at here, returned to his residence with his devotees. This is the end. I guess I think this is a summary of the whole thing. Thus Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed the Rath Yatra ceremony to his devotees and performed the Vrindavan pastimes with them. Yes, this is a summary. The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are unlimited and endless. Even Sahasra Vadana. Sahasra Vadana. You know who that is? Who's Sahasra Vadana? Interesting. I never heard of a devotee with the name Sahasra Vadana. Have you ever heard of any devotee with the name Sahasra Vadana? It's kind of a bit of a mouthful, isn't it? What's your name, Prabhu? Sahasra Vadana Das.
Nice.
It's a nice name, but you'll get used to it. Sahasra Vadana. The 1,000-hooded one. One who has 1,000 hoods is named another name of Lord Balarama, Lord Anantashesh. The 1,000-hooded one. What does he do? He has, maybe more than, it's usually said 1,000, but what is he doing? What is he doing with his 1,000 hoods means 1,000, like you can see the cobra has a hood, 1,000 hoods. And each one of them, they got a mouth also, got a tongue. What are they doing? Glorifying the Lord with each and every mouth. Each and every hood is glorifying the Lord constantly. And they've never repeated the same thing twice, it's said. Each and every one never repeats what the other one says or what they said before. So, unlimited glories of the Lord. Unlimited glories. Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj also said that one time when he was kind of question, but challenging question. How can you produce a magazine about Krishna every day? Because he was producing a daily newspaper about Krishna consciousness. And the scholar said, "How can you do that?" I said, what is the difficulty? And then he said, "How many newspapers are there every day here in Calcutta? At different editions. Every day they're publishing maybe a dozen different newspapers and 2 or 3 different editions of the same newspaper every day. So what is that is just giving a report of this tiny little insignificant material world. And you are coming up with so much news. There's unlimited news, spiritual. We only have a tiny little window of that spiritual realm in the form of Shastra. Tiny window. The spiritual realm is unlimited in every respect. He said, I could write a magazine every moment and never see if I was able to, and never repeat anything twice. It's unlimited. Unlimited, unlimited. So Nanta Shesha, speaking of those unlimited glories, cannot reach the limits of his pastimes, then there's no limit. You could give the example of, perhaps an example, sit on the ocean, go down to, what's the nearest place? Brighton? Nearest beach to here? Brighton? Southend? Not many waves in Southend. It's a bit boring place. Brighton is not that much better, but at least they have waves there. That's a long way away. Ramsgate, they're further, yeah. Well, you got. I was thinking of the towns in Kent. We were yesterday with Radha Raman, so he's and Diamore, they're kind of like Sussex, Kent men. So I was thinking of the towns there. There's Ramsgate, the gate of Ram, and near that is Margate, the path. There's a path to Ram, Margate. And it is. If you go on the coast, Margate, then you come to Ramsgate. Yeah, I know. We did Rath Yatra there also. Yeah, last year I think I was there. Yeah. So whatever these names are there, but unlimited names, unlimited pastimes, unlimited qualities, unlimited forms. In a sense, your form is changing every second too, in one sense. But the other one, the past one's gone, it never comes back again. It's always changing. But Krishna has unlimited forms. They're unlimitedly present. They may not be manifest all the time in everyone's perception, but they're unlimitedly present there. Krishna's unlimited in every way, and all the pastimes are going on unlimitedly, even if it doesn't look like it. You know, from your perspective or our perspective, we only see what we can see, which is only a little, window of the unlimited. Maybe going round like this.
As Maharaji said, that the Lord has incarnation as there is wave in the oceans.
Oh, that's what I can say, yeah. The example there, thank you. Of sitting at the ocean. You sit on the ocean shore in Ramsgate or Brighton or even maybe in Southend also, I don't know. Brighton's probably the best example. There's a bit more wavy there, more waves. And you have a task. Count the number of waves. Count the waves. You'll be sat there to the end of creation, right? Or at least the end of the day of Brahma. Because the waves just never stop coming, do they? You can't count them, I mean, there is a limit, and ultimately you could say, but even to count the grains of sand on the beach, okay? Where's a nice sandy beach in England? Blackpool? Huh? Where? Yeah, but they're not very big. Blackpool is a good one, because the beach, the tide goes out for miles, and it's miles long as well. Weston-super-Mare is another good one. Goes out 5 miles, the beach. The tide goes out. It's a very long beach. Count the grains of sand on the beach. Okay, count your hairs. How many hairs have you got in your head? Have you counted them? Why not? It's your head. I thought it was your head. I thought it was your head.
We don't have many.
Huh?
The skinheads, we Hare Krishna.
Depends who.
No, you still got they're still there. They're just not very long. I don't know how many thousands of hairs on the head. How many? What they say, 10,000? I don't know. No idea.
Yeah, more than that.
I don't know. No idea.
It's not worth it.
Whatever it is, it's very difficult to count. I mean, that you can count is actually a measurable number, but maybe it would change by the time you finish. But the grains of sand on the beach, count the number of sun rays. You know, even materially, these things are all. Count the number of atoms in your body. I don't know if it's unbelievable, isn't it? And can't hardly begin to imagine how many atoms this body is so-called constructed from. It's incredible. So what to speak of? This is nothing compared to the qualities of the Lord. Even the material one is beyond our measure, beyond our grasp. The material reflection of his energies. All the forms of this world are reflections of that spiritual form. Even the living entities, in one sense, part and parcel of the Lord, so they have, in one sense, we possess certain aspects. We're in a part, a kala, we're avesh, we're not full, but we have some of those qualities of the Lord in a minute quantity. But even that description of the soul in the Bhagavad Gita, what's that description that the soul is more brilliant than many suns or something? What is that? I got it right?
10,000 parts of the people per head.
So that's the other example. I don't know if I'm just, maybe I'm imagining that. It is said that the soul glows with a light brighter than 1,000 suns.
What we can perceive.
It's just whatever, but the soul, we can't see the soul. We're just dull. We're very dull. It's just a spark. One time one devotee said, if I was describing how the living end is just like a spark of the sun, you know. And the devotee asked, what does that mean? What is it in the spiritual sense? What does it mean we are? And Prabhupada just said, you're simply a spark. Maybe a spark in the spiritual world. I was just thinking the other day, if we could sparkle in a way that brings pleasure to Krishna, that would be perfection. Sparkle for Krishna, in a way which brings Radha and Krishna pleasure.
Maharaj, is it a spark? And then go to the material world, spark. In this material world we have a form, eternal form, Swarup.
The sparks. Well, when they come into the material world, that spirit, it's like a spark comes out of the fire. It doesn't sparkle for long. It soon loses its sparkle and becomes dull. So we become very dull in this material energy. So when the material energy is removed and we return to the fire, then of course you blaze like fire. So in what way do we blaze like fire? For the impersonalists, of course, they conceive that they've merged into the fire. It's a one fire. For the devotees, how does the spark blaze? Blazes with love. So in the material world it's related. Desire is the root of whatever we see, whatever we experience. Behind it is desire. Karma is a secondary factor, but it's desire which is the root cause of where we're at. And in the spiritual, desire is the result, is the cause rather, of whatever is manifest there due to desire. So if that living conscious living entity desires to serve Krishna in whatever form or whatever way, it's for serving Krishna. It's not, oh, I want to be a gopi. I think I can really enjoy as a gopi. I don't really want to be a blade of grass. That doesn't sound very much fun. Being a blade of grass, then one's not going to enter into the spiritual realm. There's not the eligibility. It's opposite. That's the material mentality that I want to enjoy. Yeah? It's the difference between the Nitya Baddha and the Nitya Siddha. Nitya Baddha means these living entities who are conditioned in this world since time immemorial. Nitya Siddhas are those who are not conditioned, not at all. Even if they appear within this realm, they're not at all under the influence of this realm. So they're Nitya Siddhas. So the difference is the Nitya Siddhas are always thinking of Krishna's pleasure. The Nitya Baddhas are always thinking of their pleasure. Even if you are pious and you somewhat believe in a God, a creator, a Lord, a provider, whatever a concept may be, but if our mentality is still, I want to enjoy, then we're still Nitya Baddhas. Nitya Siddhas never think, I want to enjoy, I want to be happy. They don't think like that. They only think of that Krishna be happy. Is it? You know the story when the Lord sent Narada Muni to the earth, was it? Sent him to the Lord Narayan. It appeared that he had a terrible headache. He just pastime, the Lord having a headache. But he had this pastime, isn't it? So he said, the only thing that will cure me of my headache is the dust of my devotees' feet. Please bring the dust. And if I put that on my head, my headache will be cured. So anyway, he sent Narada Muni on a mission. And he went to the residence of Dwarka, he went here, there, and everywhere, requesting his devotees, the Lord's devotees, please, please, Lord has a headache, please give the dust of your feet to cure his headache. No way. The dust of my feet, how can I possibly conceive of that? Not only that, but it's very, very offensive. You go to hell for that. One after the no one would give the Brahmins, no one. And eventually he came to Vrindavan, seeing that no one seems to be, what am I going to do? No one's given the dust. Came to Vrindavan and saw the gopis, he asked them, told them what was happening, and before he even finished his statement practically, the gopis were scraping the dust off their feet. Go quickly, hurry, hurry, hurry. Oh, you simple girls. Don't you know this is a great offense? To put the dust is like putting your feet on God's head. This is really offensive. You're going to go to hell for this. Who cares less whether we go to hell? Let us go to hell, but let Krishna's headache be cured. A simple example. The mood of an actual devotee. He doesn't spend his whole life thinking, I don't like this, I like this, I want this, I want that. All his devotee, pure devotee, is thinking about what would please Krishna. That's all. I was thinking that when we were chanting just now, how far I am from that mentality. But when we're chanting kirtan, of course nobody would have enjoyed that even if they wanted to. But sometimes we just came from the opticians, right? I don't know if you know Vishal. Eyes and Smiles, is it? Eyes and Smiles is opticians in Southgate, New Southgate. He's got his optician shop there, devotee. We went there for a test, so we went there. And B.B. Govinda Maharaj was coming. We didn't see each other. He was late. We were supposed to meet at the same time, but he was late. We had to come here. A bit late getting there. So anyway, just reminded me, it's one of his favorite tunes, isn't it? The one we sang earlier on. Yeah. And but we're not just, oh, I like that tune. I like that tune. I like that person's voice. Oh, I feel good. That's often our mentality, you know, often. I'm not saying it is with you, but it often is the mentality which we have. That was a great kirtan, I feel so good. No, that's okay in the beginning for sure, but that's not real kirtan. It's not the real essence of kirtan, put it like that. It's on the path to kirtan. A kirtaniya, one who's a real kirtaniya, is one who's not thinking like that. He's thinking of, and you know, we're not on that level yet, but the devotees, they sing, the pure devotees, they sing exactly, in the whole Rath Yatra festival was like this, that they would sing exactly to the mood of the Lord. Different time of the day, different place, the different emotion that he's experiencing. They would sing the various tunes to compatibly blend with that emotion or that time of the day or that pastime like this. The instruments would all be in harmony with that principle. Everything would be to facilitate the Lord's, you know, pastimes. Everything. There was no concept, I don't like this tune. I'm going to change the tune. Why don't they change the tune? I don't, you know, oh God, why is that guy leading kirtan, you know? Oh boy, there she goes again. Oh, you stop playing that blooming saxophone. Take those djembes out of here. You know, all kinds of thoughts going on in her mind. Maybe even worse than that going on. And, you know, that's not the question. All the thoughts are, there's not even thoughts, it's just spontaneous love for Krishna. And it's like your hand, it doesn't think separately from the body, does it? Does it think separately? I don't think it does. Has it got a mind of its own, your hand?
No.
You say to the mind, you know, move, the hand says, I'll have to think about that. You want the hand to move, the hand says, I'm going to have to think about that. Give me a few minutes, I'll see. We have to discuss that with the fingers first before we decide whether we're going to cooperate with you. Yeah, it doesn't, does it? It's spontaneous, right? It's not even spontaneous, it's synonymous practically. You don't even think. It doesn't, there's no, it's automatic, isn't it? You can't even say you're thinking, you hardly know you're thinking. It's like so amazing how it clicks. I'm not even thinking about it clicking, it's like spontaneous, synonymous with whatever desires come quickly. Spiritual world is synonymous with the desire. Your hand went up then, is that the hand cooperating or not cooperating? Is that sign your hand's out of control or something? Sometimes it works like that, the system breaks down. The communication system breaks down, that's what the material was like. The communication with Krishna is broken down. So we're acting out of harmony. It's like, you know, if you want to pick up the glass, you know, and you know, you expect the hand to immediately do it, right? Picks up the glass and nothing in there, but anyway. But you expect the glass, the hand to pick it up. It's like, you know, it's part of the whole. Sometimes it doesn't. It may be paralyzed. You may have some disease. Imagine what you know, you're not aware probably, but the message has gone to the hand. Pick up the cup. Bang! The hand smacks you on the face instead. That means it's not cooperating, right?
Phantom pain.
Huh?
Phantom pain.
Phantom?
Pain.
Pain?
The leg thinks it's still there, but it's not there.
What was that?
The leg thinks it's there, but
Oh.
it's not there.
Okay, well the hand is there. The hand is there. It's not that it's phantom pain. It's that the hand's meant to pick the cup up. Instead, the hand acts independently and smacks the face. Oh! You ever bitten your tongue?
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you curse your teeth or something, you know. Damn those teeth! You know, you've bitten your tongue. Ah! You know, isn't it? It's out of norm. But especially if the hand doesn't work the opposite, gives the opposite message, or it takes the cup and throws it over the other side of the room, pours everything out. Got boiling milk in it, pours it on your head or something, throws it. You know, and that does sometimes happen.
People with Parkinson's.
Parkinson's, or with maybe some other diseases. Yeah, some kind of locomotive disease of some kind. But normally, that's not what normally happens. There are exceptions. So this material was an exception where we're actually, although we're part and parcel of the Lord, we're acting against the will of the Lord. He wants us to offer the food to him. No, we want to offer it to me. I'm going to offer it to me, not you, mate. It's my food. This is my body. I can do what I like with it. Big philosophy, isn't it? It's my body. I can do what I like with it, but it's not your body. This is the root cause of all the problems. We think it's my body or me. This is like, separated. We read this morning how the living entity is separated from the Lord, not really, but acting in a separated way from the Lord. This is like the hand acting separately from the body. It's like, we could give it an even more dramatic example. You've cut the hand off. What can it do? It's completely separated. And that's what happens. We come into this world, instead of picking the cup up and giving it to Krishna, we throw the cup away, or we take the cup for ourselves. Then you come into the material world, and then you're completely separated. So the whole process is to reconnect us with Krishna. Yeah. Hare Krishna. So when we chant the holy names, are we connecting with Krishna, or are we trying to connect Krishna to us? That's what we should be doing, is it? We should try to be connecting everything to Krishna for his pleasure. Or are we thinking the kirtans for my pleasure? Or for the pleasure of the other people around? Now, that will be there. We could say that's inevitable in the beginning stages because our chanting is not pure. But that's not the purpose of kirtan. The purpose of kirtan is to please Krishna. It's not to become purified. It's not to get free from sinful reaction. It's not to feel good. It's not to attract a crowd. It's not a performance. It's not to get liberation. It's not to get attention, that's for sure. But it's to give attention to Krishna, okay, from an external perspective, and in a way that brings him pleasure.
How does the kirtaner knows that he's actually giving pleasure to Krishna?
How does he know?
Yeah, because
You will experience also bliss.
Yeah, well, without wanting it, it will come automatically. How does it, well, that's sort of what would we say? That is a subjective question. To give an objective answer to such a question is relative. When your hairs are standing on end, shivering of the body, frothing at the mouth, what else could you say? I mean, these symptoms are not necessarily at all symptomatic of one who's pleasing Krishna. They could be, but generally they're not manifested. One who's actually on that level doesn't manifest it. Anyway, that's another subject. But how this is very, subjective topic. How do you know someone's satisfied with what they're eating? Ask them. I don't believe you're satisfied with what you're eating. I don't believe you love that person. What does it mean? Do you care whether I believe or don't believe? You know if you're satisfied, don't you? Yeah. Of course, we may have an illusion if we have an ulterior motive. It's I can't talk from reality because I don't feel that. The real experience of a pure devotee, what they're actually experiencing. I mean, you see with Srila Prabhupada when he's chanting. You can sometimes see, even from our point of view, you can feel the emotion, the feelings there. Pure devotee is always chanting. He's not dependent on any circumstance. Just 1 minute, like with the Indra Prabhu in Vrindavan, for instance, one of the tests he would give is you have a night shift and you're on your own all night. Nobody is there other than you, because Krishna's there. That's your shift. 3 or 6 hours all night long in the cold, chanting. Let's see what type of kirtaniya you are. It's one thing when there's 500 devotees around and you're singing a fantastic tune and everybody's like on your own all night long, you know. Who are you singing for? I'm never going to do this again. Jeez, I'm frozen, I'm hungry, I'm frozen. What's the point? There's nobody here. Who are you singing for? That's why Madhava, that's what Madhava's test was. For years he had to do the night shift. He wasn't sitting there with 500 people around him all gawking at him and yeah, he put the doors through the ropes. Are you singing for yourself, or are you giving everything? Singing for Krishna means you realize you have nothing to give, but whatever he's given us, you give it all. In at least, you know, not be with full conscience, but at least you give it all in the kirtan. Every sinew, every thought, everything, every body and mind, everything. Voice, everything given fully to Krishna. Harini.
How do we know what Krishna wants us to do at every moment? That he's pleased.
At every moment.
Yes.
You have to ask him every moment. When you're in well, the Pure doesn't know, have to ask. They said the first class devotee doesn't. He automatically knows what pleases the spiritual master. Second class devotee, when he's told, then he knows what to do, and he does it. First class doesn't even need to know. He knows the mind. And the third class may not. Fourth, maybe I've missed one. Maybe it's 4 classes. I can't remember. The third class, or whatever it is, even though they're told, they don't necessarily do it. The last different levels are there. So a pure devotee is in harmony with the Lord. When you're in harmony with something, as we gave the example of the hand, the harmony is the hand in harmony with the body automatically acts according to the conscious living entity. So those who are in pure consciousness automatically know that. We don't know that. We don't necessarily know what Krishna wants of us at every moment, because we're not on that level. So we're at another level. We hear, and some, when they hear, they follow, and some don't. Some don't hear at all. But those who hear, then if we follow that, what we hear, from the right source, of course. That's why the Lord appears in this world. That's why devotees appear in this world. That's why scriptures are in this world, to give us some idea, guidance as to how to act in a way for Krishna's pleasure. So we hear from those elevated, realized souls, Tadvidi Panipadena, Pariprashnena Sevya. Those who've seen the truth, they can guide us, they can tell us, they can instruct us. So then you may or may not like it, but that's how it works. We may object, we may refuse, we may reject, but they're giving us direction, which will help us to not just, we're not machines, but that process of Vaidhi Bhakti will lead, if followed, if under the direction of a devotee who's on an elevated platform of pure devotion, spontaneous devotion, they will also lead to spontaneity. You will spontaneously act for Krishna's pleasure. You won't have to think, is this pleasing to Krishna or not? It becomes spontaneous. It's like when you're with your friends, it's kind of spontaneous, isn't it? You kind of spontaneously relate with each other, more or less. You know, you don't have to kind of, like if you've got a hidden agenda and you're trying to get something for yourself out of it, that's something else. You might be, duplicitously trying to say something to, get something, whatever it is. But if real friends, they don't have that. They're completely at home with each other, and whatever you do, it's just part of your relationship. It's very natural. So, those Raganuga, the path of spontaneity, Raga. So when we follow in the footsteps of devotees who are in that platform of simply living, they are nothing other than, you could say, a limb of the Lord in one sense, simply fulfilling his desires. They, by their association, by their direction, we can develop that consciousness by hearing from them and following their example and taking directions from them. That's the practical process involved here. External practical process. Internal process is your sincerity, and that sincerity will be marked with your humility. I don't know. I'm a rascal, whatever we think we are, independent, whatever it is. And we pray to the Lord, and we pray to the devotees for their mercy. By mercy, we make all endeavor ourselves to follow. But ultimately, this mercy of the Lord is the deciding ultimate factor in progress in spiritual life, especially to come to that level of, where we, with that realization, that purity is there, that we realize, we understand what really will please Krishna. And we follow in the footsteps of those who are in that particular mood, and in their association it can become not just spontaneous, but it can become full of pure love, prema. Anything else? It's similar. How do you know what someone likes to eat? How do you know? It's like you want to please me, everything has to be fried. I only eat sugar and wheat and oil, lots of oil. Fry everything in oil. No potatoes and cabbage, please. With lots of tomatoes. You have to know what I like, and then you do like that. I told her before, I remember one time I went to one temple, I think it was in Australia, I'm not sure. Not temple, someone's home. They got the message completely wrong. They thought my diet was tomatoes, cabbages, etc. Everything was fried. Everything was cabbages and tomatoes.
Why you don't eat Maharaj, your favorite food?
They misread the message, or somebody sent the wrong message. I don't know what happened, but it was all upside down. Everything was the opposite, I can take that, but it's just an example. So if you prepare some nice cabbage pakoras fried in canola oil with lots of sugar and lots of all wheat, everything's wheat. Who's going to look after me? On a neophyte platform, these things, they have to be somewhat taken into account.
At some point, we can't use time as a factor here, but at some point, constitutional nature of the soul will not be satisfied in that position. And this is even in service, higher case of service. Are they straight? Is it straight? Is it northern? Checking that.
You mean the frames?
Yeah.
Them on the side of
Getting better now.
on the laptop.
I think my ears have cleared up now. When I left the optician, I couldn't see properly.
Put them on the laptop like this.
Hmm?
If you put them on the laptop like this, then you see if they sit straight. There.
Very good.
Well, it looks
Yeah,
like
new pair of glasses.
this one is slanting in a bit more, but
Yeah, but maybe it's not. Maybe my head. It's probably my head, My head. You know that story, Raghunanda Thakur. Father Mukunda. Mukunda was a physician. So he one day, his son, who was helping his father in his puja. They were worshipping a lot of Christian deities. So he was helping his father daily in different ways. So one day the father had to go out on a urgent medical purpose. That day he told his son what to do and said, make sure everything's done properly. Make sure the offering is made to the Lord, and he gets his lunch, and make sure he has his lunch and everything like that. So the boy, some things the boy wasn't fully aware of, but he got everything ready. It was all prepared anyway. He just made all the offerings for lunch, and he sat there, ringing the bell, saying the prayers. And then he saw Krishna's not eating anything. Come on. My father told me you had to eat your lunch. Very simple. Krishna eats through his eyes. The kid was so insistent, Eat, please, eat, please eat. And what will my father say if you don't eat your lunch? All right then. So he took his lunch and he had everything. And he burped. Everything was gone. And the son was very pleased. He took the plates back to the kitchen, washed them up. Father came home. Did everything go okay? Yes, Father. Did you offer everything to Krishna? Yes, Father. So where's the Mahaprasad?
He ate it.
Oh, Father, Krishna ate everything. Sure. Where's the Mahaprasad? He ate everything. He knew his son wasn't a liar. He knew it wasn't exactly a liar, but he was thinking, what is this? I'm sure he hasn't eaten it all himself. That's not possible. Maybe some animals coming or something, eating it all. What's going on here? So then the father said, okay, so we're going to make another offering now, okay? So the father made another offering to offer for the day, and told his son, okay, you make the offering again. And the son took it in again, so the father and Mukunda sat hidden behind the curtain watching what was going on here. But maybe the son eating it or somebody eating it like this. He sat behind the curtain waiting. And the boy's ringing the bell again. Krishna, please eat. Please eat your meal. And then Krishna says, how can I eat this? I'm stuffed to the neck. Fed me so much at lunchtime, I haven't digested it yet. I can't eat anything, I'm so full. Please, at least eat something. All right then. And Krishna stretched his arm out and took one laddu. Ate half the laddu and put it back. And the father was seeing all of this. Said, you are my father, I'm your son. You are my guru. Krishna can do that, they don't usually do it. We're not on that platform of Mother Yasoda or whatever, Raghunanda in the temple. So is there anything left, or did Krishna eat it all? And half a laddu, there's just half a laddu left there. Even if that were the case and we got one grain and a half of a laddu, we'd be the luckiest living entities in creation. That actually happens. I mean, it does happen, we can't see it, but if we actually were able to experience that, my God, we're lucky we do. Absolute fortune. Okay, water. Come on, hand. No, I don't want to touch it. No. If you want that cup, you get it yourself. Come on. No. I want to put it in the mouth. No. I don't want that water in me. If you want it stomach, you can make your own arrangement to put it in the stomach. It's a bit of a problem, isn't it? But that's what society's like. Everyone's got their own opinions, and they're not cooperating, and same thing in ISKCON, the same thing in the world around us. Still painting a little bit, huh? Still painting. What are you going to do about that?
I need to see, maybe have another surgery
Is it?
to close the nerve a little
Is
bit.
it? Oh, the nerve's still open to you.
Yeah. I can feel my leg wriggling there. I fight with the shark.
His leg. Okay.
You have a lot of shots
had-
in Romania.
Where did you do the first?
I had
UK?
yeah,
You did it in UK?
Yeah.
Okay. Which hospital?
Nottingham.
Oh, nothing.
The operation was in Nottingham. wasn't
Yeah.
it?
I
You had a
Indian
problem with your
leg.
leg since birth?
Yeah,
Since birth.
Yeah.
Legless.
I had a club foot. It was a little bit. Actually, there wasn't really a club foot, but the doctor put it right. So then it's modified. Don't know what to say.
Yeah, well, it's done is done. You know, with it.
He was a trainee. He was training himself. The doctor was a trainee. He
And he ruined your leg.
and then he ruined it.
You completely ruined his foot.
And then he put me in the plaster for 3 years, and then another surgery when he shouldn't do anything. And then another surgery, and then another one.
So basically his leg was ruined by
Training doctor.
improper-
Cutting just the bones, like.
Yeah. Just destroyed the actual capacity for it to operate properly.
Anyway, it was a blessing. Otherwise, maybe I wouldn't be here today.
Krishna has his ways.
It's
Like
not-
actually Sri
Sorry?
Damodar
Brought
Maharaj.
you closer to Krishna? He brought you
Exactly.
closer to Krishna?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. If you have too much pleasure, then you just enjoy.
Yeah.
But then if you have some pain, then you're gonna think about God. You try to find an answer, isn't it? No pain, no gain. So I know it sounds terrifying,
Okay,
but
we're going to experiment now. We're going to do more pain now.
no, but it is pain. It makes you to realize that the reality is not.
Yeah, it's fasting today for everyone.
For the next 3 weeks. For me, maybe it's crazy.
Jai Prabhupada.
Edith
Prabhupada
Prabhupada.
ki jai.
Jai.
Solina Jalan Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Hariam Sankirtan ki jai. Don't jump too much. Just trying to get it in.
Yeah. It has a screw, and then I push on this button and comes out.
Oh, you got a button.
But it's not very comfortable.
No, it doesn't look like it. It look like one of these robots or something.
Try.